We've walked further than we usually do towards the big street up at the top of the hill, and we live on the side of a mountain, sort of. We're close to the bench, and so once the hills get hilly, it gets really exhausted, and so we're finally taking a break. Anyway, we didn't make a pop walk talk yesterday. We were weirdly busy trying to go quick, and oh my lord, you guys are the silliest bellies. And Chester's almost passing out. Come here, I'll fix it. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stop going places. Stop going. Let me just, there we go. Anyway, so you guys are silly boys. Silly boy doing silly boy things. Don't get in the sidewalk. Don't get in the sidewalk. We need room for people. Come on. There's nobody here, but still. Hi, silly Billy boy. I don't have a topic for today. I'm just enjoying the walk. I often don't have a topic. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I've been going to this sort of class, collaboration group, cohort, whatever, regarding creatives in business, and it's a bunch of creatives in engaging in business and mentoring each other. And today I got to talk with a lot of several people who are in the business, and I have a band, and I'm trying to get us marketed out there, and we're talking about reaching out. And I was like, well, what's a way that I can engage? School bus. Anyway, let's sit down. You need to rest still. You're not done. Don't think I think you're done yet. I said I work a lot with local musicians, at the bar that I'm at, because I do the door. I do security, so I collect their cash, and we get to talking a lot. And I'm like, what are some? The person I'm asking is on like City Arts Council and stuff like that. What are some resources that I can point these young and or inexperienced musicians who are just trying to make their way in the world and make this their business? It's like, what do we have? And he's like, not much, basically. And I'm like, because we've got kids trying to pay their rent. I'm like, I taught some of these kids in high school. Like, they're young, they're in their mid-20s, and they're really hustling, and they're barely surviving. And all of the creatives in the room are like, yeah, you can't get paid here in our city. And I'm just like, but wait, aren't we trying? See, this is problematic, because this city is trying to become an artistic hub. Like, we want to make a little, kind of like a version of Austin or Nashville or those kind of artsy music, like known for their music, known for their arts communities. But we can't keep anybody home because we don't have funding. The people here, it's kind of a poor town, like as in the population runs closer to the poverty line. And we have wealth. There are plenty of wealthy people too. We've got lots of businesses here. We're a city. We're a legit small city. And it's like, why are we losing our own artists? Why aren't we providing spaces, venues that pay artists, pay musicians to play that are from here? And they're talking about, yeah, sometimes the city is willing to pay people out of state like buco bucks, but if it's a local artist, they're paying them peanuts. And it's like, that's garbage. And so that's kind of one of the things I want to get involved in is, what do you think creates community? We do. The musicians create community. The photographers create the community. The artists, the muralists, the storytellers. What do you think makes a community? So let me put this out there to you guys. What do you think makes a community. One of my philosophies, that I'm trying to propose or promote, is what I like to call village economics, and I just use that as it's people don't like the other terms that sound kind of like this, but I want us to go back to our roots of humanity. 300,000 years of history, we did life a way, and that way included what was our most human things. What are the things that anthropologists, archaeologists have found most consistently across the globe in all communities? Is musical instruments, oral history, a tradition of oral history, storytelling. Athena, you're getting around that tree. I'll deal with her later. Hey, come here. Hold on. It's like what we had as a species. Sorry. Athena wrapped around a teeny tiny baby tree, so I had to deal with that. And now we're walking again, so whatever. What makes us most human? We had toys. I know I said instruments, storytelling, play. It wasn't just hunting and gathering. That's what people call the societies, because that's how the societies survived. But that's not what we were. We were all of these things. You know, we were creating. And what did we have the most of? What was the most thing we were creating? Art. It's what gives us a fucking soul. Walk. Go quick. Good job. We always jog across streets. Anyway, so if a city wants a community, if a city wants humanity, if a city wants culture, you need to be patronizing your own artists. You need to be providing that social support, because it's what makes us fucking human. And yet it's what gets us paid the least. Who makes the least amount of money? Because money is fucking useless. Money does not exist. Money has no value on its own. Money is a fucking vacuum. Hold on. Why do you think, I can tell you why I think, why do you think artists and creatives don't get paid? Because money represents livability. Money represents survivability. Money represents people want you to be able to eat and have a place to sleep. And why do they want us to be homeless? Why do they want us to be starving? Why is there such a term as the starving artist? What the fuck is the point of that? Do you know what artists do that resource hoarders can't? Create. Resource hoarders get jealous. Inferiority complexes, which I have witnessed firsthand from people who made more money than me but couldn't do what I do. And they get fucking jealous. Hold on. Just look at the way people who have the absolute most fucking resources in the world don't actually add anything to the world. Oh, they create jobs. Fuck you. You do jobs. You do service. The regular Joe Schmo anywhere does creating. Creates services. Creates products. Creates. Creating jobs is exactly the same fucking value as the vacuum that is money. Okay? It doesn't exist. The jobs would exist without billionaires. Alright? People would be doing things without hoarding resources. You know how I know? 300,000 years of history. That's how I fucking know. We've done it before. And we could do it again. We did it so long, and we just got better at doing it. Yes, do we need collaboration of resources? Yes. Do we need leadership to help us to share? Yes. Do we benefit from systems of governing bodies that help us to engage fairly with each other? Does money make this exchange of goods and services simpler? Yes. But why is anyone in the entire world starving? Why? And why is it almost always the ones who do the most? Why is it literally always? Stop wrapping around that tree. Hold on. Just wrapped around another tree. Anyway. it's important to take a breather when you get a little too heated. But yeah, that's the real truth about why it's problematic that this city doesn't pay their own musicians and artists. I say musicians and artists, but that's because not everybody. It's all semantics. Creatives, the people who create the things that predict the future. Do you know what artists do? They create the future. You know what? Somebody who makes a TV show about people getting along and about queer folks existing and about like block parties and things that we could and should have. That's what the people value. If a show like that gets popular, that is what is valued. That's what the community wants. Hi, baby. You're doing a great job. Walk. You can see, let me rephrase that. You can see what the humans, the community, the culture actually values based on the media that they consume. What type of music do people listen to? What type of lyrics do people connect with? What type of visual art speaks to people? What type of stories speaks to people? You know? And that's the real crime in money, in hoarding resources, is that the people who can't or won't actually add value to the community are the ones who have everything. And they're the ones deciding what the people are supposed to value, because they're the ones putting it on their networks and producing their music and putting on their radio stations. And it's like, this is what we approve of. We don't approve of this. We do approve of that. We're going this way. No, we're going this way. Sometimes I have to tell them where to go. And I don't want my ideologies controlled. I don't want my art controlled by somebody who just wants to hoard all my shit. You just want to maintain ideological control so that, okay, run. You just want to maintain ideological control so that you can control the future. But the beauty of the world we live in now, social media, tiny home movements, off-the-grid movements, no-buying movements, thrifting, repurposing, recycling. It's such a big deal right now because the younger generations are finally beginning to go back to our roots. And it's beautiful. And guess who's freaking out about it? Guess who's trying to tighten their control? Just watch the behavior of the billionaires as people gain freer access to music that they like, to art that they appreciate, to stories, to movies, to things that are no longer controlled. Access is no longer controlled by networks and production companies and government bodies and Catholic Church and other religious organizations. And like, you know, most of the art from the Renaissance was controlled by religious bodies. That's not freedom of expression. That's not freedom of art. What kind of art do you think Da Vinci could have created if he wasn't restricted by the governing religious body? Because it was theocracy. All over Europe was theocracy. What kind of music would have been written in the 16 and 1700s if there wasn't this overlying demand to include Christianity in it? And I'm just speaking about European stuff because I know European history the best. European and U.S. history the best. But like, look at it globally. What kind of stuff could have been created if the hoarding of resources didn't control the art that was being made? And it's like, why the fuck does starving artist ring so true to so many people? That's garbage. That's disgusting. We should be fucking embarrassed. And this town that I love, it's a really cool town, is gonna hear this from me because I'm gonna get involved. Because I got information from one of those guys at that meeting about how to get on the local arts council. And that's the kind of vigor and vim that I bring to a situation that I think is missing. Because I bring the global perspective. And I don't mean just global as in physical. I mean global history. I mean the timeline of the human existence. We know what we value. We know what's important to us, yet we don't pay for it. Why should we have to pay for it? Well, until we have social services that provides basic housing, food, and health care, the things a person needs to literally survive, until we have... Go ahead. Go. Quick. Until we have the basic needs met of every human being on the fucking planet, you have to pay your fucking artists. How embarrassing. Do you know what I hate the most? And I'll end on this weird little pet peeve. Fun lawn that Chester likes to walk in the flowers. Just a lot of really tall clover. It's really soft. Anyway. You know what I'm seeing that I hate the most? Is that big corporate ad deals. I know a little bit about advertising marketing, just a little bit. And those big corporations have buco fucking bucks to pay for advertising, right? How many A-list celebrities are taking shitty fucking ad spots for like Walmart and the phone companies and all of these other credit card companies, and those jobs could be going to B, C, D, whatever you want to call them, list actors. And these A-list celebrities are hoarding the good paying jobs. And I say that because they could say fucking no. They could say no, and they're not. And I see it as disgraceful. I see it as a hoarding of opportunities. And I'm not against necessarily people should make what they're worth, whatever. But I think that this hyper focus on rewarding the tiniest 0.5 percentage of creatives and stuff, and then telling all the other creatives in the world, you could get there, this is the goal, you could hit the jackpot and make millions of dollars. It's like, or you could take those millions of dollars and do more with them for more people by focusing on giving less. Get out of this bread that you just found on the ground. No thank you. No thank you. I need some leftover bread somebody dropped on the ground. I don't let them eat stuff off the ground. I don't want them to get sick. Anyway, and that's what I mean by resource hoarding. And that's what I get angry. Not angry, but come on, run. Frustrated with creatives who gain celebrity status, who can and should promote jobs or create jobs for other creatives, and they don't. That's part of the hoarding. And the ones who do, the ones who mentor other artists, the ones who find small, like, local artists, local musicians to open for their bands, who, you know, there's just so many different ways a body could do this, you know, an organization could do this. And if we just would unionize, if we would create collectives of creatives, I think it could change the fucking world. But there's a lot of scabs in the A-list celebrities. A lot of people who cross the picket line. I think the whole creative community needs to be more like the writers and actors guilds. That we could have a lot more of that. Get out of this person's yard. Get out of the yard. We could be doing so much more for so many more people. So why aren't we? Stop. Hold on. Anyway, the tiniest dog, but Athena loves to pick a fucking fight. And by that I mean she loves to engage. Let's take a breather. So yeah, that's part of village economics, is putting the focus back on what makes us actually human and putting value back into these artistic endeavors, into education, into communications, into news, into storytelling, into play, into all of the things that keep us human, that we can be doing so much more with that. That's what I want. That's what I want to see in the world. So I'm going to start engaging. It's my plan. It's been my plan for years to get into local politics because I want to practice what I preach. And I know that as I increase my sphere of influence, as I get to know more people, as I start to make friends with musicians around in our community, I have the skill set to unite people. And I know about unions. I was a good union rep. It's how I got targeted at my last job. Anyway, so yeah, I guess that's the pup walk talk for the day. So I'll see you next time. Don't forget to support your local artists.